after attending, I think, all of the meetings. I'm not sure if there was extras, but I know that we've attended quite a few meetings along with our staff. And there's been a lot of time and effort by these commissioners as well as our staff. The extra hours that we, the commissioners, didn't even know about, all the hours put in to trying to work this out. I think the commitment from both Commissioner Bretternitz and myself were that we were at the meetings, we were there to hear and listen to the public. I don't think there was ever a question that Commissioner Bretternitz or I thought that the county could come up with any monies at all. I think we talked about state question state question one, and we found that there is no way that we could go back and get those monies. It's just not in the right time frame. We've talked about Washoe County 1, and we've talked about those monies, but I think that once we heard that the appraisal came in at a much lower rate at $2.8 million, we were very upfront with the public. I think everybody understood that they needed to come up with it. And talking with the residents out there, many of them have said, we think it needs to be more money. There's folks that say, wish we could give, wish we could be a part of it. They don't live in that particular area that they're looking at. City of Reno staff was there as well. I shouldn't say anything different because they have been there doing the work as well. But it just seems to me that for the City of Reno to come here and have this direction, I'm kind of concerned about that. I believe that Washoe County has really making an extra effort to be there. And when I think about $300,000, the possibilities of $300,000, we're a lot further along than we ever would have been should we have just reverted the property over. So I think we've really attempted to work with the public, and I hope that the City of Reno understands that. It just kind of just blows me away that it sounds to me like we're expected to be Santa Claus, honestly. Like we're just supposed to produce this money that we are having very difficult times trying to get through and trying to be responsible for our budget. So it becomes quite emotional when we're asked to do something like this, when we have obligations as well, and we're trying to make every effort to make this a success. And now it's up to the citizens. It's their responsibility, and we've given that to them, and they're doing a great job from what I can tell. But I do have a question. I'm sorry. I had to get that out, and it's for Mr. Doolittle. And my question is, on page 7 of the little packet that you've given us on the bond projects. Yeah, bond projects. Page 7 talks about number 3, P-Vine access. Is there any way that the P-Vine access that's not been funded, is there any way that that could be incorporated into the Northgate project? I'm just hoping or wondering if there would be any appetite of either the Parks Commission or anyone to go back and address the possibility of, it looks like it's acquisition. It would be the possibility. I don't even know if it's anything that we could look at, or are you saying specifically that it's not the same intent? Thank you very much, and I agree that the public needs to be a participant in no matter what happens, and I think that they've been a participant. I think that the point that Commissioner Jung was making about something that happened by another board, which happens all the time, and so it's an issue that we might want to look at for a lot of different things. As we move forward, I don't know that you can go back and change what we've already got just like we talked about today, waste management. I mean, it's another whole board years ago that I don't even know where those folks are, but decisions are made. We make decisions every day for future commissions. And so I think that we need to look at what we have in front of us today, and the WC1 monies, we're being told there really aren't enough to do anything for us to put forward on this. I think we have some ideas and some ways to have conversations, and I know we're in a hurry. But one thing I do think that it's important is, Commissioner Jung, you mentioned that, through the chairman to Commissioner Jung, you mentioned that that somehow Washoe County should come up with some of this money. I am sorry, but I don't look at it that way, because, sorry, I get emotional about this. But from the very beginning, being involved in these meetings, it's not been a secret. These people know that it's a responsibility. They don't like it because they did buy their properties by golf courses, but there is no obligation to any one of us. When you buy your properties, you do your due diligence, you hope and pray that exactly that the golf course would remain there. In this particular case, it's not. Washoe County really is trying to make this work now, and the citizens, I think, understand that they need to make this commitment, that they need to go out there and come up with, it's not $4.5 million any longer. The price has been reduced, not reduced, the price hasn't been reduced at all, but we're at a point now that we wouldn't have been at 5-6 months ago. We could have just reverted it back. So I appreciate the board moving forward with that. I hope that we can continue with this. I would like to send a message back to the city of Reno, thanks, but no thanks, basically. But we need to, I feel obligated, and I will continue to work to try to find that funding. But to every other property owner, taxpayer, we have responsibilities right now. And I don't think that we can do anything different than what the voters have already voted on. I think that's my point. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.